Hope you're doing well.
I'm well, alhamdulillah. I hope you are good too.
Alhamdulillah too. As a lawyer, I'm sure Nolly Prosecutor is something you really know a lot about, and the Attorney General really owes no one an explanation if he or she enters Nolly Prosecutor. But in this instance, the Attorney General has decided to announce to the nation and indeed to the world that they have withdrawn the charges, and this is why they have withdrawn the charges, or they have actually not withdrawn, but they have decided not to continue with prosecution, and this is the reason. What do you make of it as a lawyer?
I think that first of all, I would say good evening to your listeners, and then to mention that the power of the Attorney General to control proceedings, criminal proceedings, is very well established in law. And the Attorney General can anytime during the proceedings withdraw for the prosecutor. As we saw that in sometime in February, the Roman Attorney General had filed a string of withdrawals to discontinue with prosecutions, and so there's one of these cases that was also withdrawn at the time, and I think it's one of these Gov't de 4 cases, if my memory serves me right. So this probably is the only remaining one that has also been discontinued. Now, we find this very, very, very worrying indeed, especially coming from the background where we have what we call Operation Recover All Loots, oral. Now, what we are seeing today appears to be something akin to Operation Clear All Loots. Now, it's very, very worrying that a government has come into power, and one of the major things that the Attorney General does is to clear every former appointee who has committed one wrong or the other and has been undergoing prosecution. It's very, very worrying. What it means is that prosecutions are going to be coterminous. So when you come to power, you bring your own set of people that you want to prosecute. And anyone who is associated with the regime is who have committed any crime. And that is a very dangerous thing to do. The Attorney General is not just the Attorney General, is a Minister for Justice. On this occasion, we are seeing something close to the Minister of Injustice in the work that the Attorney General is doing. Now, if we give this opportunity to political appointees, then it starts to reason that there are many, many, many more people who are currently undergoing such prosecution. Common people, common Ghanaians, who do not have any gravitas. They don't belong to the political class. What are we telling them? All the people who queue to vote for us, we are telling them that the political class are a different category of people who cannot be touched. Now, what happened to Odo Mensah, who is currently undergoing some trial for stealing 100 Ghana cedis? Why don't you allow him to pay the 100 cedis back? If this opportunity is available, why don't we give it to every other Ghanaian? Why is it being made available only to the political class? Now, there is a danger ahead of us. Ghanaians are watching. Ghanaians are wise. Ghanaians are sensible. Really, we are sending a certain message to Ghanaians. And I think this is very, very worrying indeed. Because if we proceed along this line, one day, both MPP and DC, there will be a revolt against all of us. Because we are taking the people for granted. The people for granted. Now, how do you justify why you will be withdrawing cases against some group of people and currently processing some other people for trial?
We do know that
trying to tell the Ghanaian people.
We do know that
the Ghanaian people.
The Attorney General has that prerogative under the Constitution, and it will not be the first time that this is being exercised. If it was done in the past and you had no difficulty with it, and it's a prerogative, and in fact the Attorney General really owes us no explanation, but this one has been generous enough to tell us why he did what he did. Why are you picking and choosing when you did not complain in the past?
As a matter of fact, what the Attorney General did is very, very commendable, to have given reasons, why he's filing, non-prosecutor in respect of this particular case. And we have argued, and some of us have argued in the past, that having regard to the fact that Attorney General is exercising his discretion, we think that the provision of Article 296, which governs the exercise of the discretionary power, should apply, so that reasons or guidelines to be provided. So what the Attorney General has done is highly commendable, as far as I'm concerned. Now, that is also not to say that because he has given reason, we lose our rights to question the decision that Attorney General has made. What it is that the Attorney General can give any reason, and it doesn't have to make sense or not. You see what I'm saying? But now, when the Attorney General gives a reason, then we now have to interrogate those reasons as well. And that is what I'm saying, that if there is room for people who are undergoing trial for whatever criminal offenses that relate to stealing of state resources and all of that, and they are willing to pay 60%, then it shouldn't be available to only the 4 and the 7 others. It should apply to any other person. And in this case, those who have also come under the same category of people, including Atuesian and co, should be given that opportunity. And other common criminals who are languishing in jails across the country should be told that come pay 60% of whatever it is that you are deemed to have stolen, and then we'll let you go home.
But we already have that, don't we? The plea bargain acts and all the
plea bargain act is there, but has it been available to everybody?
I'm sure it is, based on what the law states. But my question to you really would be, the Attorney General's justification is that the point of prosecution in this particular case was two. One, the first point is to ensure accountability for public funds. And two, which the Attorney General is the most important, says is to recover losses occasioned to the state through various alleged acts of financial impropriety. In fact, a lot of critics of our adversarial system of justice would say to you that what is the point of sending someone to jail? What we really get as a state? If you went to report to the police that Kofi has stolen your mangoes and you have Kofi arrested and prosecuted and sent to jail, it does not mean you have not lost your mangoes. So if the Republic of Ghana has lost so much money, Kwabena Dufo is the one who allegedly caused that loss, and he has decided to pay back the money. Which one benefits us the more? Give us back our money, or go to Hassan for 10 years, or for 5 years, or for 17 years?
I support, the position that we should, as much as possible, apply our laws in a manner that will be beneficial to the state. In other words, if there are means and ways of recovering any perceived, resources that have been taken away from the state, we should take it back, instead of relying on custodial sentences. I think that policy decision, I'm in support of it. You understand? But much as I'm in support of it, I do not want it to be limited to the political class. Otherwise, we become endangered species. The Attorney General should publish any other persons who have benefited from this particular, exercise of this his powers under the Plea Bargain Act. Now, what I'm not too clear about from the Attorney General statement is whether or not this amounts to a conviction. It is silent. By the law, it amounts to conviction, but what the Attorney General has released is a bit silent on that one. This decision, however, does not imply an absence of wrongdoing nor vindication of any conduct. It is a pragmatic step in line. I was thinking that our Attorney General would have included in the statement, maybe paragraph 7, that in doing this, it has to be emphasized that the accused persons remain convicted by virtue of this, plea bargain that is being applied to them. That would have sent, clarify the points, for Ghanaians. But what I'm saying is that Attorney General has the power to internally prosecute at any time, and he doesn't owe anybody any responsibility to tell us why he's entering into that. But it is dangerous that the Attorney General has come into office and he has chosen to discontinue trial of almost every person who is associated with the NDC.
They should
Attorney General periodically would come and grant press conferences and indicate how he's going to put another set of political people, through the courts. 4 legs good, 2 legs bad. So if you are NDC, you cannot be seen to be committing an offense. Even if the evidence is overwhelming, you have to go home and rest so that another set of political class will start. I mean, this is very, very dangerous.
But they will retort and say they are the same people when they were in government put their people before court, which people went to jail. For instance, Abu Gapele, your former, I'm not sure you were in parliament by then, former MP for, it escaped me, but yeah, former MP and former CEO of the GIDA.
I think he was member of parliament for China Paga.
Thank you so much. And former CEO of the GIDA at the time, they put him before court. They put other people from their party in court, and that these people were convicted and sentenced. So they would say to you that no, you cannot accuse them of freeing their own because they have a track record of jailing their own. You, on the other side, are yet to prove that you have jailed any of your own.
So that means that there is justification to do that because you have put Abu Gapele, in jail before. So there's every justification to withdraw, charges against any other person in the future. And so that means that at what stage can anybody from the NDC become a subject of trial? Well, we have done it in the past, so we are good. We have ticked that box. I think no 2 cases are the same to start with.
Okay.
And the evidence available to the Attorney General, I believe, in this particular matter, was the same evidence that was available to the Attorney General in the case of Atu Isien and the others. You see what I'm saying?
I get
but
you.
This offense is flowing from a similar transaction.
But don't forget that Atu Isien, don't forget that Atu Isien was given the option of paying back to the state under your government, but he failed, and your Attorney General decided he was not taking the state seriously and had to go.
What I'm saying is that we should avail any other person. If this is the order of the day, then it should be available to every Ghanaian, including the common criminal,
okay,
the petty thieves. Everybody should be availed this opportunity.
One last question.
And we will conserve our prisons.
An NDC member has sent me a message. His name is Stephen. He says 8 years in power with quote and unquote overwhelming evidence, the MPP couldn't secure convictions. So what's the point of continuing with prosecution, he says?
Oh, not all the cases started in 2017. Different cases started at different times. Some cases started, and at some point, due to the absence of judges and so on and so on, and the retirement of judges, they had to start de novo. So you can't say that 8 years, no conviction couldn't, hadn't been made. That is wrong. In any event, we are justice, the rules of justice run slowly. There's no need for us to fast track and jail an innocent person. We need to give the person adequate opportunity to go through a fair trial. So if you come around and say that 8 years was long enough, no. The accused person has every right to raise considerable doubt in the trial or in the case of the prosecution, in order to be able to vindicate his rights.
Very well.
What justice is not for you to fast track people and then push them. This is not the kangaroo courts. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So you have to take the person through legally accepted, processes under the Criminal Proceedings Act.
Okay.
And then you can, at the end of the day, say that you did what you had to do. Attorney General's work is not to just convict people, but it's also to do justice to every case that comes before the Attorney General.
Thank you so much for speaking to us, sir.
Thank you very much.
That's Honorable Hassan Tampuli. He's a former Deputy Minister of State. He is NPP Member of Parliament for Gusau, and he is Deputy Ranking Member on the Constitutional and Legal Affairs